What's going on, everyone? And today I'm going to talk about two shoes. One is the Skechers Speed Elite. The other is the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. Alright, so I'm going to go over the specs for the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. So, in a men's size 9, it is about 6.5 ounces. Heel is 40 millimeters, whereas the toe is 32, so it's an 8 millimeter drop. And this is a fairly lightweight racing shoe, whereas the Skechers is the specs are, I believe it's a little under 6 ounces for a men's size 9. The heel is 23, toe is 19, which makes it a 4 millimeter drop. Now let's talk about the uppers for both these shoes. Both of these shoes are pretty translucent. And so what I mean by that is that this shoe and the Nike, you can basically see right through it. Very see-through. So, which I like because it gives the weight obviously less. As you can see here too. I don't know if you can kind of see my finger right through that, my thumb. So that's very translucent. Let me see if I could do it with this one. And yeah, you can kind of see. You can kind of see the light right through it. So you can kind of tell that it's very translucent. Very thin. The shoelaces here, I kind of like the shoelaces with this one. This is it's kind of like a stretchy, but not really. Very thin. Whereas the Nike Vaporfly, the shoe, when you tie it, it's kind of off to the side. I mean, which I have no big deal with. The tongue is pretty thin material. Same as these Speed Elite, very thin, but this one's a little bit more soft. The heel counter for the Speed Elite is not really non-existent. There is a little bit of padding, but not too much. Whereas the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent, it's pretty sturdy. The heel count is pretty sturdy, and it does have a little padding for a nice good lockdown. So that is pretty much the uppers for both of them. Now let's get to where the magic happens, which is the midsole for both these shoes. So let me start off with the Nike Vaporfly since I have that on my hand. The midsole is basically what they call Zoom X. So it does have a full-length carbon fiber plate in it. And I must say that this midsole is the most smooshiest, most comfortable midsole that I've raced in. If you can't tell, my assumption of where the carbon plate is basically, I don't know if you can kind of see like the little line. There's like a little line right there, and it kind of curves down. So I'm assuming that's where the carbon fiber plate is. It's very rigid, so it's not really that bendable. Where I will now go on to the Speed Elite. Speed Elite uses the Hyperburst midsole foam, and it's a very smooshy one as well. Very nice. Very nice if they, if they use the midsole correctly. Whereas the Razor 3, it is a splendid shoe, a great training shoe if you want to check that out. When it comes to like the Go Run Ride 8, the Hyperburst, I thought it was a little bit more not as soft. So this ride is really good. It has the carbon fiber plate in it as well. But the carbon fiber plate starts where you can kind of see. It starts kind of right there, and it goes through the forefoot and the front area of the shoe. So this carbon fiber plate, obviously it's not a full length, but this one is a two-piecer, so it kind of looks like this. It's kind of like the letter H, and they kind of just like put it together, and they kind of just had it like that. So that is basically the midsole of the Skechers Speed Elite. Now let's go to the outsole. So the Skechers Speed Elite uses, I haven't cleaned it, so just kind of wanted to show you guys how it looked like. So it uses Goodyear rubber. So the outsole, you can kind of see that it uses on the a little bit on the top, not any right here. Doesn't have any on the mid, but it does have a little bit on the bottom right here. Okay. Now the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent uses a ton of rubber, very thin, as you can see, very thin, but it's still durable, good traction. It also uses two of them right on the sides right here. It kind of blends in with the midsole. So, like I said, I didn't clean these, but these are pretty much the midsoles. I would say that this Skechers Speedelite is probably not going to be as durable. If you can kind of look at the camera just a little bit, you can see the hyperburst, the exposed hyperburst here. It's kind of like just kind of tearing off. Probably just the way I like strike my foot, because I'm more of a midfoot up here type of strike. So I kind of lift up like that. The durability on this one, so far it's pretty good. Oh, I should say that I already had 52 miles on this shoe already. So the traction, it's still pretty much there. Whereas I've used this, I think about probably around 20 miles, and this is basically how it looks like. So those are the comparisons between both outsoles of both shoes. Alright, let's talk about the pros and cons of the Skechers Speedelite. So the pros, it's a very lightweight, and this shoe makes you go this makes you go pretty fast. So it's kind of like a rollover. So it kind of like makes your foot just pop up like that. It's like a roll action to it. So it makes your cadence a little bit more, so you'll have more of a cadence. So cadence is basically just how many steps you take in a minute. So you'll get a lot of steps on this. So yeah, and it's a very lightweight. The cons. Let me talk about the cons about this. So the con is that it is a narrow toe box. So your feet are kind of just a little squished in it like this. Also, the heel counter. Like I said there earlier, there's really no heel counter to this. So when you first start putting this on and when you start running in them, it kind of feels like the shoe's going to kind of fall off on you. But then after a while, you kind of forget all about it. And then also the durability. I don't know if this is going to last as long. Like I said, I've already put about 20 miles, and this is how it looks like. So I'm going to obviously put more miles into this and let you guys know in another video how the durability goes and how long this shoe lasts. Now let's go on to the Vaporfly Next Percent. What I like about this shoe. Lightweight for this much stack height because of the Zoom X in the upper. So the upper uses a vapor weave. What I like about this as well is that it's a wider platform on where the toe is. So your feet during those long distance races, your feet can kind of spread out a little bit, so it gives you room. Okay. Also, the durability on this is actually pretty good compared to the Skechers Speedelite, and the ride on this is very different from the Skechers Speedelite, and I'll tell you how. Why? Is because when you walk on this at first, it kind of feels like this is the plate and this is your foot. So it kind of feels weird when you're walking on it at first. But once you run on this, it's magnificent. It's like a bounce. Instead of where the Skechers kind of like rolls your feet off. So it kind of rolls like that. This kind of is like a bounce. It's just a quick bounce. Because that plate right on your foot, it propels you. It's like a spring, just like that. So those are what I liked about the Nike. What I don't, the cons about this. I mean, I don't know if I can find any cons on this. I mean, I know as a marathon, it's like I said, it's durable. I put in about 52 miles. I think the only negative I would think is when I did my first marathon and I tried. It took me maybe like 2 or 3 times to lock it down, only because I felt like I had it too tight, and then my foot was kind of aching on the top, and I had to like relace it like a little loose, and then it was too loose, and I tried to tighten it up again, and it was just too tight. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I really like this shoe. I mean, I like both shoes, but if I had to go, obviously for a full marathon, definitely use the Vaporfly Next if you have it. I would also use this for a half marathon. Now with this, I know I think they were supposed to make it as a marathon shoe, but in my opinion, I would use this for 5Ks and definitely 10Ks. Alright, if you made it at the end of the video, thank you guys so much for watching my comparisons between the two shoes. Please like and subscribe down below, and I'll be making more videos. And the next time, consistently grind.